What up, YouTube? America? Back again with some more true fact. Now, today I want to talk about why famine will destroy a lot of America alive, and they will die behind it if they're not prepared. Spiritually first, then physically. Now, we got a big stock market crash that is coming in the near future in 2019 as the Feds continue to raise rates, which they're planning to do so this month again, and then a couple more times this year, which we cannot even afford one more high interest rate from the Fed, which will leave it plumbing, our economy plummeting down. And they know this. That's why the Fed keep increasing, because they all trying to get up under what? The New World Order, One World Organization. This is the big head of it. This is why you got the food crisis that's expanding abroad around the whole world fast. It's about to go down, and definitely if you guys is not prepared and suited for it, spiritually first, physically second, you and your families can be very devastated. So when it does hit the America, which it is very soon, very soon. The Fed's already saying that America should be expecting a recession by the end of 2019. So that's something we need to pay attention to, very in specific in its details, because it is going to happen sooner than later. Now, I want to go into a report here from Bloomberg. I'm going to read an article here from Bloomberg. I know everyone should know who Bloomberg is, which I will actually do a report and go into full details of their background, how Bloomberg organization got started, where did they come from. I will go in another lesson, I will go into all them details so that you can really understand who these people are and what important that they have on the economy and in the world. You have a report right here from Bloomberg. Fire, flood, and famine. Fire, floods, and famine. And it states, it's the end of 2019 and America's bountiful harvest is in, but President Donald Trump is facing a crisis few contemplated the year before, a food shortage almost everywhere else in the world. The seeds were sown after unexpectedly severe El Nino and widespread droughts diminished food production around the world. Rolling trade patterns already broken by a tariff war. Hunger was rampant and refugees were on the move. Attention turned toward North America, where crops yield were ample and supplies plentiful. The U.S. was in position to help. What would the president decide? If what you are about to read sounds far-fetched, remember this. All the weather disasters and the most of the policy scenarios described here have happened in the past, just not at once. And it's a report from Bloomberg. Fire, flood, and famine. Because and the reason for the floods and the fires is to destroy the crop, which is happening all around the world. Let's look up what's going on up in Nebraska, how they're getting flooded out. And you think that what's going on up north in Virginia, in California, where we grow, Nebraska, I mean, in California and all these other places where we grow our product, where our farmers' products is on the West Coast, you think these, while most of them are committing suicides, and it's been over 144,000 suicides in farmers since 1995, because their farms is not producing how they want it to be, and they actually killing themselves. Researchers, farmers are actually killing themselves because of the droughtness of the farm. And you think those things that's happening up there on the West Coast is not going to affect the food on your table? You got a rude awakening. Better think again, because it does. And I also want to go into the Bible. Gonna start at Mark 13. Mark 13. And I'm going to take it all the way down. Mark 13, verse 1. As Yeshua was leaving the temple, well, I'm going to say Jesus, because that's how most people know him, as Jesus, which it was no J's back in the time when Jesus was born. And in fact, the J's was the last letter to be implemented into the alphabet about 2,000 years ago. So it couldn't have been, Christ couldn't have been named with a J during that time. But I'm going to just call it how it is for re-edification purposes. As Jesus was leaving the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what massive stones, what magnificent buildings. Do you see all these great buildings?" replied Jesus. "Not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down." As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter, James, John, and Andrew asked him privately, "Tell us, when will these things happen? And what will be the sign that they are all about to be fulfilled?" Jesus said to them, "Watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name claiming, 'I am he,' and he will deceive many. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still yet to come. Nations will rise against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. There will be earthquakes in various places and famines. These are the beginning of birth pain. You must be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and flogged into the synagogues. On account of me, you will stand before governors and kings as witness to them, and the gospel must first be preached to all nations. Whenever you are arrested and brought to trial, do not worry beforehand about what to say. Just say what is given to you at the time, for it is not you speaking, but the Holy Spirit. Brother will betray brother. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. Let me read that one more time because that is very serious. That we need to pay attention and catch to because it is all planned out if you don't catch it with the naked eye. Brothers will betray brothers. Mark 13, verse 12. Brothers will betray brothers to death, and father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. Everyone would hate you because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. When you see the abomination that causes desolation, standing where it does not belong, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountain. Let no one on the housetop go down to enter the house to take anything out. Let no one in the field go back to their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that this will not take place in the winter, because those will be days of distress and unequal from the beginning when God created the world until now, and never to be equaled again. If the Lord has not cut short those days, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, whom he has chosen, he has shortened them. At that time, if anyone says to you, look, there he is, Messiah, or look, there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform signs and wonders to deceive, and if possible, even the elect will be deceived. So be on your guard. I have told you everything ahead of time. But in those days following that distress, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its lights. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Those stars that it's talking about falling from the heaven is actually missiles that's going to be being shot over here for the fall of America. That is what that mean when it's saying the stars is falling from heaven. That's great burning power, which the missiles that's going to be shot over here will do just that. And at that time, people will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory, and he will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heaven. Now learn the lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. It is coming. The great famine, fire and flood. It is coming. Maybe not in that exact order, but they coming, those three. And all it is setting up, and all it is going to set up the cashless society, so that once the cashless society is, you get your computer chip in your arm, because you won't be able to buy or sell without it. And that's exactly what the cashless system is getting down to. The RFID chip inside of your skin. That's what the cashless society main goal to get down to, is having you injected with the RFID chip. And that is what this catastrophic weather that's going on in America is going to bring, just that. They got to take down the old system to bring up a new system. And they're going to do just that with the food shortage. Because even back in the day, in the 1990s, a lot of people didn't want to get on welfare programs because of everything that was behind it. They thought it was a disgrace. to be on the government welfare program. But it was all, but even then it was all enticed to cycle them right on up to actually dependent on them and not yourself. Because once they got you all dependent in on them, they provide you food, Medicare, money, etc. What you think when they decide? What you think will happen when they decide to stop supporting that, to take it away from you? It's going to be catastrophic for most people that actually live and depend on it. It's going to be really crazy for those. This was all built up. All these were steps taken in place so that they could build you up to tear you right down. That was the whole purpose of the system. To make it look like you were doing something so they can pull it all, every last thing away from, right up from up under your feet. Everything. Especially the minorities. Because if everything go cashless for the it's going to really affect the minorities. Because most minorities, especially the homeless, don't actually have bank accounts because they don't deal with the bank. They don't trust the bank or whatever the issues is, the interest rates, the fees, and all that the bank acquires of you. Most minorities either can't afford it or don't like to deal with it, and most minorities use a lot of cash and poor. Cashless society will affect the minority people. And it's all a system just to take away your food flat out. Which they already got the upper hand. All they have to do is just come out and release it. Because it's already set in place. It's already set in place. We're going to go to, we take you into another scripture in Revelation 6. And I'm going to start from the first verse. Revelation 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard it as it were the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. This is what is happening now, especially to our younger people. You don't see our younger people dying off left and right? It's because of the no knowledge that our people is not having regarding this. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and spirits in high places. And when he had opened the seal, and when he opened the third seal, pick back up at verse 4, and verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see, and behold, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and he and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. It's coming. The question is, are you prepared for it? Because it is coming, no doubt about it. Not even men or the top scientists in the world is going to be able to stop it. It's coming because it's coming from the Most High. It's a judgment that is coming. Verse 10. Verse 9. And when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And the sixth, and beheld when he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely fig when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were removed out of their places, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captain, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in dens and rocks of the mountain, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? No one, if you're not covered up under the law, statutes, and commandments, which is not being observed by a lot of our people, especially a lot of our Christians. Because the book comes as a whole, not parts. You shouldn't want to do this and not do the other, because that's a sin in itself. The book comes as a whole. America's judgment is on the way. Who can stand up and stop it? No one. But if you're not covered up under the Most High and His laws, statutes, and commandments, that's the only shield that you have to fight through this battle and to make it out on the other side alive and able to see Christ coming in the sky. And He say, even if possible, even the elect will be deceived. And that's because they got the technology that they're establishing today, the technology that the fallen angels is bringing down to the earth, because that is where all the technology that they have comes from. It comes down, it's coming from the fallen one. The fallen angels is bringing them down this technology. That's why it's all this new high-tech technology you never even heard of until it came out. But they're getting this technology source from the fallen angels. So out there on Area 51, over there in the mountains. That's all they're doing. It's alien, but they're not telling you what. It's not them green alien thing that they're showing you. No, it's spirits that's actually coming down and giving them technology, and they just renaming it alien. It is. They are alien to this world, but how they describing them is not true. These are spirits coming down, giving them technology on these mountains, because that's where Satan came to, on Mount Hermon. He came down on Mount Hermon. So these mountains that they have set up, like Area 51 and all of that, these are mountains that they're communicating with the spirit, being in contact with the spirits here on earth. These are landing points for these spirits, these mountains that they have blocked off, such as Area 51. It is coming, and it's going to hit hard if you're not prepared spiritually first and physically. This is not going to be no walk in the park. It's not going to be like no hurricane when it hit and it was okay. Once America economy falls, it's going to fall big. It's going to fall big. And it ain't no coming back to it, because the Most High said when he tear it down, it's going to be desolated. Ain't no coming back to it after he finished with it. And judgment is coming to America. Whether you prepare or not, you know or you don't, but it's coming. And the Lord not stopping it because you don't know it's coming. This is the judgment coming to America. So, hope you guys stay prayed up, stay prepared, and stay in the spirit and in the word, because that's the only way you'll be able to get through it. The only way. Through the Most High. He put us in this situation, and the only way we're going to be able to get out is through him. And with that being said, I'm out. God bless you all. Much love. If you like the information that I did share with you today, you already know, hit the bell, like, share, and subscribe, and share with everybody you know. Once again, I'm out. Judah, stay strong. Israel, be real. And prepare for Jacob's trouble, because it is coming. The Lord warned and prepared us way ahead of time, as it states in Mark. He told you ahead of time. So with that being said, prepare, much love. Stay tuned, because I'm always posting true fact, because it is true fact. And I'm out. Thank you all for tuning in today. Hit that bell and share with everybody you know. I'm out.